The Nipman Foundation Microsoft Equal Opportunity Awards 2018 were held in Delhi to recognize institutions and individuals making significant contributions to people with disabilities. The grand event also brought together government representatives, social activists, and prominent personalities across industries to discuss and deliberate upon social inclusion and technology.
I would like to welcome you all to the Nipman Foundation Microsoft Equal Opportunity Awards 2018. The awards are in their 5th edition this year. We seek to recognize companies and individuals empowering persons with disabilities in their workplace and lifestyles. I'm happy to share that we've traveled at an absolutely accelerated pace with just one category and 11 applicants in the first year. And this year, we have 7 categories and 200 applicants. It's indeed an honor for us to have Mr. Pradeep Puri, Honorable Minister of State, Independent Charge, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, Government of India with us as our chief guest.
All I can say to you this evening is that people with disabilities are the most marginalized. Not because of their disability, but because of an environment that is insensitive, hostile, and inaccessible. Article 9 of the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, to which India is a signatory, mandates accessibility and accessibility for all, which is the premise on which all the principles of the UN CRPD can be achieved. Clause 40 and 48 of the 8th chapter of the Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act, 2016, also mandate making all buildings, services, and products accessible, giving definite timelines for implementation and retrofitting. And I want to make a commitment now and here that we have every intention of implementing that and incorporating into our systems, so that providing a ramp or an access for somebody with a wheelchair is not something which is thought of as an afterthought or something which you do as a bonus. Will have to be a requirement. We commit ourselves to promoting appropriate measures in cities and human settlements that facilitate access for persons with disabilities on an equal basis with others. I'm very clear in my mind that any person with a disability requires access to schools, colleges, recreation, travel, healthcare, banking, and even justice accessibility, which should be the bedrock.
We're going to start off with a panel on social inclusion and technology. My first question really is going to be to Ashutosh. Ashutosh, how do you think technology has impacted lives of persons with disabilities both in India and abroad?
The impact of technology can actually be seen across 3 different areas. Providing access to educational opportunities for individuals, providing skill development opportunities, and more importantly, providing the opportunity for an individual to get relevant employment so that he or she can become independent. Whether it's for someone who is intellectually disabled, whether a person has mobility disabilities, or whether a person has any other sensory type of a disability, there's a lot that technology can do.
Dr. Alim, you of course have developed your own ISL conversation app. So what role do you think technology can play for India's deaf?
How can we spread more awareness in the mainstream society? Yes, technology can assist, but one of the primary reasons is why I have came up with the ISL app is to have the hearing community, the non-deaf community learn our beautiful language and realize that Indian Sign Language is at par with spoken language like Hindi, Kannada, or any other language as such. The second thing, technology. Let me give you an example. This is something I go through every day, especially in India. For example, I order food through Zomato or Swiggy or any such app. Now, even if I want to book a cab, Uber, Ola, I book my food, I book my call. These guys call me, right? I can't speak on the phone. Why? Why not send me an SMS? It will be equal communication. I can SMS to them. It saves time. So the simple technological modification does do a great deal in helping us.
Gautam, I'm going to come to you next. I think the LGBT community in India has also really benefited from technology. According to you, what role does technology really play?
I'm from the Humsafar Trust, and we are working for the LGBT rights as well as the HIV prevention program across the country. So before this technology and having this internet and everything, people used to meet on the sites. They used to meet face to face. But now, because of the technology, there are people who are shifting from there to the dating applications, internet, and due to that, we are also asking National AIDS Control Organization that we need to change our outreach program, because then because most of the people are using internet and it's very easy to access. If I'm sitting in Delhi, I can talk to anyone in Mumbai, London, anywhere. So with the technology, there are lots of good practices and bad practices as well.
I'm going to go to Sania next, and you actually did a story in Haryana which was very interesting, where technology was misused.
Correct.
So can you tell us the other side?
So I went to Haryana a few months ago to cover the culture of gang rapes. Men are using technology for pornography. Men are using technology also to shoot rape videos, to scare women after shooting those videos. So these are some of the obvious perils of technology. However, on the flip side, there are women who are getting a chance to respond also because of the same technology. Me Too is a big example. You know, we talk about due process and how due process has failed women. I think due process, there is a myth around due process which now seems to have been shattered through social media and through technology in general.
Where do we see the future in terms of technology and persons with disabilities?
Any industry in general which creates any tool or any technology or any process, we haven't considered the concept of universal design. And if we don't consider the concept of universal design, we do not create solutions and processes keeping everyone in mind. So if I look into the future, I see the fact that whether you're talking about driverless cars, whether you're talking about working from home using artificial intelligence and huge broadband connectivity, a lot of the work is actually going to get shifted to individuals who want to work on their time, at their time, where they want to, right? Technology can enable a lot of that. And it's not about what technology can do, it's about what technology should be doing. Right. And should be to empower every person on earth.
I think one way companies can start adopting universal design is by having a diverse workforce. Dr. Alim, my question to you really is that say I'm the CEO of a company today, what can I do to make my company more inclusive towards the deaf community?
So every company which is willing to make their workforce more diverse, more inclusive. Now it's hard for the deaf to read English because that's not their primary language. So we must have an interpreter there for those days. Especially in the beginning, at the very beginning when you're joining the company. Now, are the companies willing to bear the cost of interpreters coming for a day, maybe a week, to provide access support? At the same time, it is important for the deaf individuals who are joining mainstream workforce to know how to ask questions.
Adwaita, I'm going to glamorize the panel a bit now. Till very recently, when a lot of female actresses in India used to get married, it was like an expiry date on their career. But with Tanushka and Deepika both getting married at the peak of their career, do you think that says something about Indian society changing?
Having written a film like Kahani, which had a lead woman who was pregnant, I know that even when you venture into the realm of fiction, it's really difficult to get a project like that greenlit. I remember there was an era when Hindi film heroines would get married and no one would know. It was the death knell in many, many ways. I think that is changing. I think heroines still have a career, but increasingly what I notice is a couple of things. I don't think there are enough roles being written, and I don't think there's encouragement for roles that are for older women, women in their late 30s and their 40s and onwards. Secondly, I don't think historical films with women get greenlit because they're big budget. Yeah, I think we made a lot of strides, but we have a long, long way to go.
How do you think Me Too will really influence Indian society going forward?
Powerful men in the business immediately went into self-preservation mode. Will more women come out? I think it's very difficult. I think it's going to take a lot of courage. It's a reality. Everybody knows it exists. It's rampant. I think it's inevitable that it will happen, and it's a matter of time.
What do you think we as citizens of India can do to make India an equal opportunity country?
While technology and while platforms, social media platforms, are giving space to voices and people whose voices were hitherto silenced, those voices are being given a platform, yes. But what we are seeing is that a lot of prejudices that as a society we've held, we are playing them out on social media as well. We need to stop doing that.
I think as citizens, what we need to do, what all of us need to do, is to make sure that we look at what a person can do and not what a person can't do.
Advaita, concluding remarks are yours.
I think today when you see social media and you see accessibility that technology brings to people who are differently abled, I think it's a way of including them in our lives. We as a society have to really change. We cannot fail people because we do not understand exactly where they're coming from.
Thank you so much.
The Nipman Foundation Microsoft Equal Opportunity Awards 2018 recognized companies and institutions that not only promote employment of persons with disabilities but also remove all physical and attitudinal barriers, encouraging them to enjoy the fundamental right of equal opportunity and truly flourish in their lives.
The first category of awards that we're really introducing here is Innovation Technology, which I think is something which is very exciting because on a day-to-day basis, technology is really empowering persons with disabilities and changing their life at a very fast pace. And the first winner in the Innovation Technology category is Blee TV. Second winner in this category is ID. The third winner in the Innovation Technology category is Excel Cinema. Our second category is Innovation Non-Technology. And the first winner in this category is the District Red Cross Society, Panchkula, Haryana. The second winner in this category is Mitti Cafe. The third winner in this category is White Print. The third category is Employment of Persons with Disabilities. And the first winner in Employment of Persons with Disabilities is Square Meal Foods. Our second winner in this category is Wipro Limited. The first of the remaining four categories that I'm going to announce today is Inclusive Schools. The first winner really is Balwant Rai Mehta Vidya Bhavan Anguri Devi Sher Singh Memorial Academy. The second winner is Shraddhanjali Integrated School Association of Persons with Disabilities. Higher education continues to be a big challenge for persons with disabilities. I remember when I was in Delhi University, not even 50% of the seats in Delhi University every year used to get filled. And that's why jury decided that one prize must go to a higher education institution. And here there's St. Xavier's College, Mumbai, that has won this prize. Next category, and this is a new category that has been introduced this year, is architects and design firms promoting universal accessible design. And the first winner here is Access for All. Second winner in this category is Nature Nurture Architects and Planners. Our next two categories are the individual categories. We'll start off with Entrepreneur of the Year. This year, we have two winners in the Entrepreneur of the Year category, and they both will, in addition to the award, also get vouchers with 50,000 each from Make My Trip so that they can go for their dream holiday to celebrate the award. Our first winner in the Entrepreneur of the Year category is Dr. Lalit Kumar Natarajan. Our second winner in this category is Shehnaz Avediwala. Our last winner, Professional of the Year, and the winner is Narsappa Vagathadi. Most of the certificates of appreciation, in fact, in the inclusive school category, because we got a wide variety of applicants. The first one is this school called MAN Center for Individual with Special Need. The second winner is Orchids Foundation. Our last certificate of appreciation actually goes to a person who's come to the stage earlier this evening too, Vidya Rao from Wipro. Another certificate of appreciation is for Saksham. This year we had 200 applications, and even though we can give awards to only a few of them, I do believe that all 200 of them are winners in some respect. So what we are going to do is that we are releasing an award booklet here that summarizes the best learnings that we've had from each of those 200 applicants. I would now hand over the stage to Ms. Shakuntala Kamran for giving the keynote address.
So when I did take over the disabilities department, my only challenge even today is institution building. We're also looking at, how to look at global best practices, look at community sensitization. We are looking at counseling, and we're looking at sort of rehabilitation after the patients are discharged, where stigma and prejudice sort of disallows them from being living with the society again. While we are talking of inclusive education and inclusive society, if we can overcome these prejudices and these stigmas that are attached with the disability sector, we will find that you will be able to optimize their talents. And if you look back in the technology world, you'll find most of the inventions are from such disabled persons. Thank you very much.
Karishma Chabra is actually going to talk about how technology on a day-to-day basis is empowering persons with disabilities.
To make the workplace inclusive, we want to create technology that people can consume with, communicate with, and create more technologies using us. This is one of the amazing tools which we have as part of Office 365 in OneNote for learning tools. It was basically developed for children with dyslexia or learning disabilities. So it highlights single word alphabet and really helps you to learn and go forward. We're creating intelligent experiences, synergies, and through these tools and technologies, we want to create independence for each and every person so that they're truly empowered.
I would just like to share some of our achievements at Nipman Foundation over the last 1 year. We conducted various audit trainings and sensitization programs for the DDA, the NDMC, Delhi Police, in the public sector, and also in the private sector with organizations like KPMG, and even restaurants like Indian Accent, to name a few. In the last year, we have conducted over 50 pro bono audits in and around Delhi, as instructed by the Delhi High Court. At a personal level, I challenged the Delhi government's decision to procure 2,000 standard floor and accessible buses and ensured hydraulic ramps were added to them. I'm also fighting cases against the GST imposition on assisted devices, inaccessibility of the National Capital Region of Delhi, inclusion of congenital disabilities in insurance policies, and for the official legal recognition of sign language, where my co-petitioners are the National Association of the Deaf and Dr. Adim Chandani. In 2000, however, my favorite project is Wheels for Life, a project that we started in October 2016, which connects persons who need wheelchairs to people who can donate wheelchairs. In a span of 2 years, we've touched more than 20,000 lives across 21 states of the country.
It always helps when you see other people in the community doing good work. It makes you feel motivated as well. And I think receiving it has been a great honor for St. Xavier's College, Mumbai.
It definitely feels amazing. It kind of reiterates your belief that you're on the right track, you're on the right system.
The panel discussions which were held, the participants, the different stakeholders, they served to create a special area of interest which I think must have been hitherto missing so far.
I think these are very important events because one of the key aspects around disability is lack of awareness about these issues. So when we have these kind of forums, these kind of discussions, people at least know of these things, people start talking about it.
These kind of awards really motivate us to move forward and do our services more prominently.
Events like this are a huge eye-opener for society, and you get to network with people, so it's excellent.